Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to review the 4K edition of Donnie Yen in Ip Man 4, the finale. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I'll put out videos every single day. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guy 365, as well as over at the Disney Magic Hour podcast. I'll put a link for that in the description. Ip Man 4, the finale, is here on 4K, starring Donnie Yen, and we're going to talk about that picture quality and the audio in just a few moments. But before we do that, I just want to give you my initial thoughts on the film itself. Now, I am a relatively new fan to the Ip Man series. I've always been a fan of Donnie Yen, but I just haven't gotten to these particular series of films yet. I recently was able to pick them up digitally, the first three ones, utilizing the 4K, and enjoyed those, and I, of course, wanted to check out Ip Man 4, and I was very impressed overall as far as the story goes. I actually enjoyed it a lot. I love a good fighting. I love a good genre of film like this. And of course, just the overall the story and the action, it really worked for me. I enjoyed it. I'm not sure I would say this would be my favorite one. I would say probably the first one. Going back to the beginning, I think that's probably a fair assessment. But I would say this is probably my second favorite. But really look great as far as like the visual style goes. So, all right, we're going to talk about the picture quality. We're going to talk about the audio. But first, before we do that, let's do a quick unboxing of the slipcover. Okay, we have Ip Man 4, the finale, starring Donnie Yen. I like this slipcover a lot. The 4K slipcover looks really cool. Just love it. Absolutely. As far as the back cover goes, we'll add our information and our spine, and then our interior artwork is pretty much the same. And then just minor artwork on the disc, both discs. But yeah, I dig the slipcover edition of Ip Man 4 finale. So now let's talk about the picture quality and the audio. Ip Man 4, the finale, is an upscale 4K, so it is not going to be a true 4K as per the specs that I was able to find online. But it is given an HDR and a Dolby Vision grading, so we're going to talk about that. As far as the overall palette of the film looks, it's good. It's really good. It makes welcome benefit to the Dolby Vision, and it really brings out that extra little bit of flair. Now, as far as the colors go, the film gets a bit saturated at times. There are moments, of course, just where it kind of focuses on one style, and it gets emphasized through the Dolby Vision color grading. So it does tend to saturate a little bit from here to there. But the colors that we do get, barring that aside, they look really well realized here, and it looks pretty fantastic. Now, I think the biggest aspect here of this release is going to be detail. I think the detail is just phenomenal here. Everything from skin textures, look at Donnie Yen. I mean, he's up close in a lot of shots, and you get a lot of that detail as far as that goes. But just the general architecture of the various locations, those little fighting arenas, they're all ornate, they all look great, and there's that little extra bump in detail that really just stands out here as far as utilizing Dolby Vision, and I think it's done very nicely, and it is pretty much the winner here. Black levels are good, but not phenomenal. I think they're not as dark and inky as I would have liked. There is still a lot of color, or there's a lot of light that gets implemented through. It's a little bit of a raised black levels on occasion, but while they're not the deepest blacks I've seen as far as that goes, it's still a worthy as far as utilization of Dolby Vision. It looks great in that regard, but it doesn't look perfect. It's not as deep as I would have liked. That's a personal preference, but that being said, the Dolby Vision video grading here looks great, and I think you're going to be very pleased with the results. Now, as far as the audio mix goes, we're given a Dolby Atmos, and this is going to be in the original Cantonese with the English subtitles, and which is the preferred way that I would actually, listen to the movie. it's a fairly robust audio mix. It sounds great. It really just, it gives you that nice little extra bit of oomph, and the fighting scenes alone are really worthy of, you know, the Atmos. They really just are they pop and they, you know, thump through, you know, various degrees. It sounds good. It really does. Now, as far as, you know, your overall discrete channel activity, center channel sounds great. Dialogue comes through clean, clear. Your fronts, they have a lot of the burden and they handle things pretty nicely. The mid-levels and the rears, sporadic ambient audio comes through these, you know, throughout the film. It's not heavy-handed, but it makes itself known fairly frequently. But during those action scenes, the fighting scenes in particular, your room, it feels like you're right in the middle of the fight. It really does. It really sounds that good, and they're fairly utilized really nicely. Height speakers, I didn't get a lot of activity through. It seemed to complement more or less the surrounds than it did have its own discrete activity. I think I detected once or twice a couple independent sounds coming from the height speakers, but it wasn't prominent. So just be aware. Don't go in expecting that much. But it's still a very nice aspect to have as part of your home theater if you are rocking an Atmos setup. The LFE seemed a little bit restrained, not very, you know, not very heavy-handed, but it still made itself known. But don't expect like kind of like a thunderous, you know, boom kind of, you know, LFE activity. It does work when it's supposed to, but it's I wouldn't say it's underwhelming. I think it's about middle tier. It's just one of those that is just fairly, you know, just kind of there. But just be aware of that. That is my review for Ip Man 4. The finale, I'm going to go ahead and give the scores, the video quality, I'm going to go ahead and give that one a B+. I think it's strong. I think there's a bit of saturation or a little bit of raised black levels, but the detail is very strong, and it's really the champion here as far as I'm concerned when it comes to the 4K presentation. As far as the audio mix goes, I will go ahead and give that one an A-. The Dolby Atmos sounds great. A lot of activity, a lot of discrete channel activity. It sounds great. I think while it's a very strong overall mix, just a little bit weak on the LFE side, and not much going on as far as the Atmos height speakers go, but it's still a very immersive, and just it pulls you into the movie, and I think you're going to be very pleased here with the Atmos. So that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of Ip Man 4, the finale on 4K. Let me know. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I put out videos every single day. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.